Hey, what's up guys, Shaun here from Reverbium, back in F1 2021. It's been a while, I know, since the finale of our co-op career that myself and Jimmy did. But we're back in the game now. We're not continuing the co-op career, that is not back. This is a new series that'll be starting on the channel here, which will be me doing a solo driver career. So I hope you're really excited for that. If you do want the co-op series back, please spam Jimmy. It's his fault it's not going back and why I'm having to do this by myself now. So let him know that he is an idiot for not continuing this and making me do this by myself. Anyway, as you'll see in the background, I've been making my driver as we go along, putting the name in, nationality, number, and currently now choosing my helmet. I won't be designing a helmet, it takes too long. I will just be stealing one of the preset ones, and we'll be going with that because I don't want to spend too much time making a helmet, if I'm honest. We want to get into some racing action. So we'll choose this preset one. We'll quickly go through the character poses, just choose one, get it going. So for this series, what we'll be doing is what you'll see soon when we're selecting is that we'll be starting in F2, and the whole idea of this series is that we will be trying to emulate the career of a FDA Ferrari Driver Academy driver. As you can see here, we're selecting a driver academy. We've of course started at Prema, which is really the feeder team in F2 for Formula 1 for the Ferrari team. So we're starting with that and we'll be heading to Bahrain for the first race of the season. Just changing the setup here for qualifying, so we're getting that ready, and out to the track we will go. So we're coming off the final few bends of my first qualifying lap here. I have recently got a actual steering wheel for the game, so I will be a bit wobbly in the game now, as you'll probably be able to tell from my driving from this, so just keep an eye out for that. But we come up to the line, we hit the DRS section, and as we cross the line, we're going to go into provisional 7th, which is not going to be quick enough at all, so we come out for another lap straight away. Actually, we double up on the laps, and you can see we're already 5 seconds faster than our first lap. That's how slow the first one was. So we come around the final corner again, take quite a bit of curb, so we lose a bit of time, but manage to get the accelerator back on. We hit the DRS section again, and we come across the line, and it's provisional second, just behind our teammate Mick Schumacher by 0.03 of a second. We come out again at the end of the session trying to get that pole position, but crucially for the race, we come around this first corner, we get into a bit of traffic and other drivers are coming out for their final lap, so we're stuck behind Nissani here. This might help us, we'll get a bit of a tow up the hill into turn 4, but through the twisty sections it's going to be a bit of a nightmare to try and navigate some traffic. So we come into turn 4, we're a bit deep, have Nissani behind, we take a lot of curb, and we've lost the car, we're sliding, oh, and we're into the wall, and it's devastating. We're not going to get that pole position, we're out of qualifying. That's devastating for our first qualifying session. I really thought we'd have a chance of getting pole there. We were right on the edge of getting a bit quicker, and the timings were so short. As we head out the garage after retiring, we'll see where we ended up, which is 6th. So we needed to actually improve by quite a bit. Well, I'd say quite a bit. It's only a 1/10 of a second that separates the top 6 with Drugovich on pole. So I feel like we could have done it there, which is a bit disappointing. But we will start at 6th on the grid for the race, which isn't too bad for our first qualifying session as a rookie. So we'll see what we can do from that position.
Let's take a look at the grid order in which they'll start today's race. Felipe Drugovich lines up on pole position, and it's Daniel Ticktum in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Schumacher, Alesi, Christian Lundgaard, and a Prema, Sato, Matsushita, Ilott, Pedro Piquet, Joe, Sonoda, Artem Markelov, and Giotto, Mazepin, Armstrong, Aitken, and Guilherme Samaya. Deruvala, Delatraz, Galeo, and Roy Nissani completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So the strategy for this race will be mediums onto hards. We can't really change much else. We can't change the fuel load, which I normally like to do as it's fixed. And we head to the grid for lights out. We head to 5 red lights. In our first race in our F2 season, it's lights out and away we go. It's a good initial start from us. We managed to get some ground on Lundgaard, but he comes back in the second phase of the start as we're trailing a Lacey, trying to see if we can find a gap into turn 1. He goes to the outside, we try and stay in, bit of contact with Lundgaard on the inside, and we let both Lundgaard and Sato through. But we can't keep the position ahead of him, so we have to trail them up the hill into turn 4. We try and get a bit of a toe off Lundgaard as we head towards the corner, pull out to the outside, trying to make a move round the outside. Lundgaard has some good speed as we slide slightly, a little bit of a tap on Lundgaard. We have to tuck in behind him as we've not done enough to get past. Then we're late on the break into the next corner and into the back of Lundgaard with a bit of a slide. We've managed to hold on to the side of the gravel and re-enter the track in 13th. We've got a bit of work to do now as we send a dive up the inside of PK immediately to try and gain a position back. We managed to pull it off with a bit of a slide. We catch it, but keep going. It's not the start we wanted in this career. We've gone from 6th on the grid down to 13th, managed to put it to 12th, and we're late on the break-in again down the hill. Evasive action to avoid the back of Giotto there. So we're going to have a lot of work to do. PK is trying to fight back down the straight, but thankfully we have enough speed. As we come into the next corner, trying to gain speed as much as we can, take a bit of curb, probably a bit too much. But we managed to still close the gap on Giotto as we head up the hill. We're looking to make the switch back on the inside. We put a dive in, we managed to hold it, take a lot of curb into the corner there, but managed to get the move done on Giotto. We're up to 11th, making moves already to try and get back what we lost early on in the lap. Giotto's going to maybe try and look up the inside, he does, but we have enough to keep the position into the home straight as we come across, finish the first lap in 11th, and we'll be trailing Matsushita into the first turn. Giotto will likely try and tail us and come back into turn 1. As he does, we're going to move across slightly to the inside, just block that off, make sure we keep 11th, take a lot of curb just to cover him off, and we'll try and come up the hill and try and make a move on Matsushita. Whether we'll be able to, I don't know. We've got a bit of a gap, 7/10 of a second. Without DRS, it's going to be difficult to try and make up in this first lap. But again, we take a lot of curb. We need to avoid the curbs if we're going to try and have some speed for the corners. As we head into the second lap and down the hill, we manage to avoid a slide this time as we try and gain on the back of Matsushita. We make a move again down the inside of this corner, taking a lot of curb again, and we manage to pull it off against Matsushita without any contact, which is incredible, and it was quite late on the brakes there. As we move to the end of this lap now, see Drugovic is still in the lead after starting on pole. We're now trailing Sonoda. We cross the line and we actually take fastest lap on the second lap of the race. And hopefully we'll be able to hold on to that for an extra point. As we head later into the lap, we're now closer onto the back of Sonoda. Oh, we're a little bit of a slide there, so we lose some of the progress we've made there to get onto the back of Sonoda. We're wide into the next corner, onto the curb, and we've slid again in the same place as lap 1. We're going to lose some more positions as drivers come flying through, and we're down into 16th, battling with Armstrong. Bit of contact inside, and again knock into Armstrong, and he manages to muscle his way through, so we're down to 17th. It's been a horrendous start to this career for us, starting on 6th, down to 17th. We're trailing Armstrong now. Later into the corner, we go for a huge dive on the penultimate corner to get past him and back up to 16th. Now we're trailing Markovic, very late on the brakes, almost hit the back of him and can't get past, and then Armstrong comes into the back of us as we try and rejoin the track, and he has fallen down the pack as he has suffered from that collision there. We've managed to get away with it and keep fighting. We go for a move at the inside of Markovic on Markov on lap 4, as we head up the inside and manage to make the move up into 15th. We're trailing Samaya. He has a 5-second penalty, so although we definitely want to get past him, even if we can't, we'll be able to get in front of him with that penalty. We go purple in sector 2, showing a lot of pace as we try and get past Samaya. Round the final corner, we're on the back of him. We'll have DRS this time, but we're in a bit of a train because Samaya will as well, but we'll try and trail him into turn 1. As we go for a move up the inside, and we manage to squeeze our way through, try and get on the accelerator. Samaya's going to come back on turn 2, but he's got no room to go, and we managed to get through into 14th and keep DRS as well, as we already had it from before the corner. We lose a bit of time on Mazepin, but we should hopefully be able to pull that back. But again, we're deep into turn 4, late on the brakes, and Samaya has now hit us into that corner as we've gone deep, and he's dropped down. We're now looking on the back of Mazepin later in this lap. Round the outside, switch to the inside, go for the move up the inside, take again a lot of curb in that penultimate corner, but we managed to get inside, get the move done. We're up to 13th. We're making progress in this race to try and get back to what we've lost. As we come around the final corner of lap 6 now, we're trying to hold on into PK, but it's time to come into the pits as we'll peel in and we'll just about slow the car down as we get to the line to avoid a penalty. We're coming in at 13th, we'll lose a couple of places as people behind won't pit. We want to try and make this quick, try and keep where we are, don't want to lose any time during the pit, that's the main thing. We don't want to lose time here, we've already got enough work to do to try and work back up, try and get something from this race and get some points. It's a 6.2 second stop. It's alright, it's not amazing, we're probably about the same as what we were to Matsushita as we came in. So we've got to see what we can do with the last laps of this. No more stops anymore on the hard tyres till the end, and see what we can do to try and save this race. We come to the end of lap 7 now. We'll fly past some of the people who are left to pits. That's Samaya we're going past here, Daruvala. PK is able to come out in front of us, so we come out back in 13th where we came in. We haven't lost anything during the pits, we haven't gained anything either really. We may have lost a little bit of time actually to the cars in front that we've got to try and work up and work back to try and get something from this race. As we come towards the end of lap 8 now, we've gained a bit of time on PK, we're under a second, we've gotten purple in sector 2, we've shown a lot of pace on these hard tyres, we'll have DRS down the home straight. Whether we can make a move into turn 1 though is going to be questionable, with half a second to try and make up, as he also has DRS. We set the fastest lap again in lap 9 there, but it's going to be worth nothing if we can't get into some points. We have to tuck in behind PK, can't make a move into turn 1 as we're in this big train of cars now, and we try and tuck in again and try and get some slipstream up into turn 4, see if we can make a move here as they go 4 wide in front of into turn 4. It's crazy in front of us what we've got to try and deal with. We're right on the back of PK. We can't make a move again as we're just watching this fight in front of us between Ilot, Matsushita, Lundgaard battle out as we try and squeeze at the inside of PK with some contact. Not a wise move for us to do, and it makes us run wide later on. But we come for a dive again, we're going for PK and Giotto in one corner with a bit of contact on the inside. We managed to pull it off. We're up to 11th in this race after we drop back down to 17th. And it's Ilot now who will be next to try and take on as we come around the corner. We'll have the DRS, but again we're still in the middle of this train now, so Ilot in front also has DRS, so we don't get that advantage over him. We've just got to try and be quicker through the corners, a bit of late braking. We managed to close onto the back of him, and we managed to hold the speed as well. We look to switch on the inside of Ilot, we get the move round the outside of the next one, and we're looking to get up into 10th, and we've sealed the move off as Ilot can't fight back. We cover off, get enough on the inside of this corner that Ilot can't come back, and into 10th place. Trailing Matsushita now into the corner. We're going for a big dive again into this corner. There's a lot of contact. There's not a wise move from us, but we've managed to pull it off. We've managed to get through without any damage and without a warning somehow, despite literally running into the side of Matsushita there. We're going for a very aggressive strategy to try and get back into this race. We're up into 9th now. We're 1 place off the points. We trail Lundgaard later on in this lap. We come around the penultimate corner, trailing in. We've got some speed on the inside, but don't have the speed on the second part of the corner, so we'll just trail behind. Will we look for a move up in the final corner? We move to the inside. No, we know it's not wise enough to do so. We'll tuck in, we'll wait for the DRS, and we'll wait for turn 1, as Lundgaard won't have DRS here, he's too far behind Sonoda. So we'll tuck in now with DRS. We go fastest lap again after lap 12. And then we'll look to the inside of Lundgaard. We'll get late on the braking. We've got past him. He fights back later into the corner as he lifts off the brakes, and he's managed to defend really well into turn 1 there. he manages to keep the position. So we'll have to tuck in again and hope that and he'll steal DRS up into turn 4. Matsushita's managed to come in from behind as well to challenge, so he's going to come off the inside, 3 wide into the corner. We go for the dive still on Lundgaard, a bit of curb, we're side by side through the corner, we've got the acceleration out of it, still side by side as we head through the next section. We have the inside line and we manage to cut him off. He has to tuck in behind to try and avoid the contact. We're up into 8th place, we're getting a point at this point. We're tight on that corner, taking a lot of curb. We managed to hold off and close in on Sonoda, but we're not going to get DRS on this straight as we're still over a second, so we've still got a bit of work to do on the final lap of this race. It looks like we're going to have to settle for 8th place. It's going to be a lot to bring in 1.3 seconds to try and get Sonoda at the end. We'll come around near the end of the lap here. Still trying to push. We've got 0.2 of a second back, 0.3 of a second. We're under a second now as we come up the hill, but we're very wide onto the entrance on that corner. A lot of curb to try and shorten the track as much as possible. We've got it down to half a second. We lose a bit of time on the exit to the corner. It's our teammate Mick Schumacher has won the opening race of the season. It's great for the team, but we've still got a fight on our hands as we go on the inside. We try and make everything we can on Sonoda, but it's not going to be enough. We're going to cross the line in 8th place on our first race of the season. We've lost 2 from qualifying, but we'll take a point from the first race, especially from where we dropped down to. It was a big fight back to try and get back into this race, which I'm quite proud of myself that we've been able to do that, to fight back so well and pick up those positions. Probably not the cleanest way we've done that, but we've got away with it. We'll see our team here celebrating. Mick getting out of his car. Great result for the team here, with Prima getting a win off the first race of the season. We'll let the team bask in our glory. So it's not a great start to the season for us there. I would have liked a bit more. We'll see Mick on the podium here celebrating his win, but we would have liked a bit more from this race, especially starting in 6th, and the pace we showed in the race we easily could have made up a few more positions without those mistakes early on. We'll look at that for the sprint race to try and hold that together, and hopefully we'll be able to get something from the sprint race there. So you can see it's Mick Schumacher who won, Alesi in 2nd, and Sato to complete the podium. Down in 8th as we do take the fastest lap as well, so we get some extra points.